All right, so today is December 14th, 2020. My name is Michael DeLue, and this is episode 45 of Pull Up the Tape. Let's go! All right, so let's get into it. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so not too many interesting matchups in the NFL this week, but there are two that really stand out to me that I have to talk about. And one being the Kansas City Chiefs playing against the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs beat the Dolphins 33-27 this Sunday. All right. So the Chiefs overcame a 10-point deficit and 4 turnovers on Sunday to clinch their 5th consecutive AFC West title. Talk about having a chokehold over the damn division. The Chiefs are doing that right now. Right now. Mahomes took the longest sack in the NFL in 5 years on I think it was about a 30-yard sack, and he was picked off 3 times, which is the first multiple interception game he's had in over 2 years. But there's a positive. But he threw for 393 yards, 2 scores to help the Chiefs improve to 12-1 and earn their 8th straight victory in a row. It was the Chiefs' second consecutive comeback at the Hard Rock Stadium. Most of you guys know. I wouldn't say most of you guys know, but they won the Super Bowl there in February, despite Mahomes' 2 interceptions. Okay, I can't say enough of just the weapons that the Chiefs have surrounded Patrick Mahomes with. Man, they have such a great team. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins. Like, their slowest receiver runs like a 4.3. Not to mention they have Clyde's, like, even last year, Damian Williams. Now they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now they have Le'Veon Bell. Man, like, this team is just way too stacked. Way too stacked. Tyreek Hill ran through the Dolphins secondary and scored behind it on a 32-yard run and a 44-yard reception when Patrick Mahomes hit, I don't know how Patrick Mahomes seemingly, finds his way to do this, but he can just he can sniff out Tyreek Hill even if he's covered. This shit is crazy. Travis Kelce had 8 catches for 136 yards and a touchdown. McCole Hardman scored on untouched, didn't get touched on a 67-yard punt return. And Kansas City's defense just looked stout against Tua Tagovailoa the whole game. And, they controlled the game. At one point, they went from being down 10-0 to being up 30-10. That's a 40-point swing. That is a 40-point swing. Chris Jones sacked Tua when they were up 30-10, and then the Chiefs, it was at that point, you knew the Chiefs were going to win this game easily. I wouldn't say this. The final score of the game doesn't reflect how close, how lopsided this game in actuality really was. At one point, it was getting very, 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 very bad. But I credit the Dolphins for not tapping out and giving up and just laying down. They still fought. They fought hard, fought all the way back. Scored 17 points unanswered. They scored 17 points. And the Chiefs scored a field goal. They ended up losing 33-27. That's not bad, and that's definitely going to be a confidence booster for Tua, playing against the Chiefs, sharing the same field with Patrick Mahomes. That's by far the best quarterback he's ever faced in his career. By far, not even close. By far, better than any of his counterparts that were in the SEC when he was in the SEC. Better than any of the terrible quarterbacks. I wouldn't say terrible quarterbacks in the AFC East, because they have some decent quarterbacks. Josh Allen, who I can't wait to give unlimited amount of praise later on in the podcast. But great game, very good game, honestly. But it showed exactly what I thought was going to happen. The Chiefs were just going to flex their muscles. And how the hell? What does this tell you about the Chiefs? Patrick Mahomes throws 3 interceptions, and they still win. Not even still win. At one point, we're up by 20-something points. But granted, he did throw those 2 interceptions in the first quarter. And I wouldn't even say he actually threw interceptions. Both those interceptions were tip passes that should have been caught by the receiver. But they weren't. So I can't really honestly put that on him. But once again, Kansas City reached 12 wins for the 3rd consecutive season. This is the longest streak in club history, and this is the best Best record they've had over the first 13 games of any season. And yeah, and they're going to win another AFC West title. Like I said, the Dolphins are 8-5. This loss actually hurt their playoff chances, as this is only the second time they've lost in 9 games. But I mean, despite that, I don't know. It's not a bad thing to get 30 points put on you consecutively by the Chiefs. But I mean, definitely when that does happen, like, it's time to go back to the drawing board and see what you did wrong, see how you can improve. But again, like I said, the Dolphins have moral W's. There are moral W's. I believe in moral W's, especially when you're playing against the best team in the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa passed for 316 yards and 2 scores to Mike Gesicki. Man, Mike Gesicki, top 5 tight end this season for sure. He's not Travis Kelce, but that dude can ball. Like, I see Mike. Shout out to the fantasy owners who own Mike Gesicki. I know they're not complaining at all. Mike Gesicki, I see him on in the end zone every single week. Every single week. But Tua also threw his first interception of his career, which came on his 154th attempt, which was a long pass that was deflected off receiver Jakeem Grant, which he honestly should have caught. That was the Dolphins' only turnover while their defense kept coming up with the ball. Xavier Howard made an interception for the fifth game in a row, and Mahomes' interception total for the season rose to 5. So he's only thrown 5 interceptions all season long. It's incredible. Man, I can't. That's incredible. So let me go through the stat line for all the players involved in this incredible game. Patrick Mahomes, 24 of 34, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Le'Veon Bell, 2 carries, 21 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 16 carries, 32 yards. Tyreek Hill took his single carry, his 1 carry for 32 yards straight to the back of the end zone. Patrick Mahomes, 5 carries for 9 yards. The Chiefs were able to muster up 94 yards of offense on the ground. Respectable, but definitely should be better considering they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell. I don't know what's up with Le'Veon. Like, definitely, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Le'Veon. The Chiefs are paying him. I wouldn't say they're paying him handsome money, but I think they need to actually, like, utilize him in their offense more. I mean, I know they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I don't know. I just seeing Le'Veon Bell rush for 20 yards, 15 yards, and stuff like that. That's just kind of unheard of to me. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but that's just a little unheard of and, like, seems a little wishy-washy to me. Tyreek Hill, 3 receptions, 79 yards. Travis Kelce, 8 receptions, 136 yards, a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5 receptions, 59 yards. Sammy Watkins, 2 receptions, 52 yards. Okay, great all-around game by the Chiefs offense, excluding the first quarter. Like, they just dominated the rest of the way. Second quarter, third quarter, monster games from them. Also, want to give a big shout-out to Mecole Hardman. Man, that dude, it can turn on the burners. Jesus, the burners. He is not playing. He is not one of them. He is not one of them. You better not play with that boy. Like Baby said, stop playing. All right, let me get into the Dolphins statistics. So, Tua Tagovailoa, 28 for 48, 316, 2 touchdowns and an interception. DeAndre Washington, 13 carries, 35 yards. Tua, 6 carries, 24 yards, and a touchdown on a QB sneak at the goal line. The Dolphins were able to muster up 80 yards of offense on the ground. Lyndon Bowden, 7 receptions, 82 yards. Mac Hollins, 5 receptions, 66 yards. Mike Gesicki, 5 receptions, 65 yards, and 2 trips to the end zone. Very good game by 2 teams that I expect to, not 2 teams I expect, by 2 teams that I know will be in the playoffs. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to the playoffs because they, as the division winners of the AFC West and possibly the number 1 seed in the AFC playoff race picture. And I hopefully the Dolphins do get that chance to play in the playoffs. I think they have earned it. I think they've played great football this season, especially considering how bad they were as a team last year. The improvement they've made, man, props to them as an organization. I remember even at the beginning of the season that they were talking about, oh, this is going to be a redshirt year for Tua. No, it's not. Tua's getting great, valuable minutes and all that shit right now. Like, this is man, I'm honestly impressed with what I see by Tua. Cannot be Tua's him, man. Tua is not one of them. Tua is not one of them. But let me get into the second matchup that I want to get into that occurred this week. And this one, I got a lot of shit to talk. For sure, I got a lot of shit to talk. So, for the second week in a row, the Pittsburgh Steelers lose. And does this come as a surprise to me? No. Does it come as a surprise to me when the Steelers play good teams and they struggle? No. Why? I've religiously said since the start of the season that I don't think the Steelers are actually as good as their record indicates. I think the Steelers are a subpar team, and especially now, considering all the injuries they suffered on the defensive line and in their linebacking core, I didn't think the Steelers were going to be a good team to begin with, and now I specifically don't think they are because they don't have Bud Dupree. They just don't have a lot of their they don't have their starting linebacker core that they had when the season first started. They don't have them anymore. They keep losing. They keep dropping bodies on the defensive defensive side of the ball over and over and over and over and over again. So one, I never thought they were good to begin with. I feel like if you look at the metrics, the Steelers have probably the easiest schedule in the NFL. They consistently play teams that are not making the playoffs every single week, every week. They and look who they look at their past 3 games have to be the worst 3 games they played all season. They barely beat a Ravens team that was struggling with COVID. They had Trace McSorley and Robert Griffin III playing, and that game was competitive. That was probably the closest game that the Steelers were in all season long, and they only won that game by 2. Come on, bro. And then the next week they lose to a quarterback with one good leg. And this week, they lose again. Again. They fucking suck. All right, let me get into this, honestly. Don't think that Jordan Pryor and the other members of the Bills secondary didn't notice Juju Smith dancing on the Bills logo during the pregame in the middle of the field, during the warm-ups on Saturday night. All right. It's funny because they played that. They actually showed that. They actually showed that clip of him dancing at halftime or something like that when they're discussing how Juju does TikToks and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, oh, that's cute, I guess. But the Bills had something else in mind. And it was clear and it was evident that they came to prove a point and to show a point. So Josh Allen threw 2 touchdown passes. Safety Teron Johnson returned an interception for 51 yards for a score literally right before halftime. I believe, yes, the Steelers were up 7-3, and then they go down 9-7 because the kicker doesn't make the extra point after that. And the Bills inch 1 inch closer. Now they're 10-3 to their first AFC West title in almost 25 years. 25. The last time the Bills won the AFC East was 1995. I was 1 year old. I'm 26 now. 25 years. And their third playoff berth in the last 4 seasons, you know. The Bills can clinch both as early as Monday night if Baltimore loses to Cleveland. All right, so the Bills have won 6 of their last 7, and the only one they lost was that incredible Hail Mary from Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins, and they have at least 10 of their first 13 games of the season. They've won at least 10 of their first 13 games of the season for the first time since 1991. That's a considerable switch from a team that endured like a 17-year playoff drought. 17 years they haven't made the playoffs. The last time they made the playoffs before 2018 was 1991. And the last time they made the first time they made the playoffs to end that drought was against my team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, which they lost to on wild card weekend in 2018. All right. So this has been the longest drought that's existed, like playoff drought that's existed in North American sports. Was the longest drought. All right. And this is after Sean McDermott took over in 2017. And since he took over in 2017, man, the Bills have turned the corner, man. So seeing big statement wins like this doesn't come as a surprise to me anymore. The Bills are honestly a good team and are here to stay. Josh Allen is here to stay. Josh Allen, man, I was part of that Josh Allen hate train when he first got into the league because I didn't think he was talented. I didn't think he was that good. The only thing I knew for a fact and I was willing to say is, yeah, the dude has a strong arm. He has a big arm, but, I mean, that's not really saying much. Big arms doesn't mean you're going to be 100% successful when it comes to the NBA. When you get to the NFL. You have to be accurate. You have to be smart. You have to be a leader. You have to be you have to have all the intangibles. And honest to God, Josh Allen has all the intangibles. Josh Allen is him, man. Josh Allen Josh Allen is not one of them. Josh Allen is not one of them. You better not play with that boy. But anyways, the Steelers continue to resemble nothing like the team that they were the first 11 weeks of the season. Pittsburgh has been held to under 20 points for the third straight game in a row. And this is coming off a loss against Washington and a win against the Ravens where they played ass cheeks. Look, the Ravens offense, no, not the Ravens offense. The Steelers offense is bad. It's bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. The receivers keep dropping the ball. They can't get any. Their running game is non-existent. They don't have as of right now. The Steelers don't have a running game. As of right now, as of December 14th, 2020, the Steelers have no running game whatsoever. No running attack. Receivers keep dropping passes. Big Ben can't do what he used to do. Their defense isn't as good as it is. The sky is falling. The sky is falling on the Steelers' defense. Defense, season, offense, all that shit. They're terrible. Josh Allen, 24 of 43, 238, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Devin Singletary, 7 carries, 32 yards. Zach Moss, 13 carries, 43 yards. Josh Allen, 6 carries, 28 yards. Bills muster up 104 yards on offense. Stephon Diggs, 10 catches, 130, and a touchdown. Cole Beasley, 5 receptions, 41 yards. First of all, Stephon Diggs is not one of them. Stephon Diggs is not one of them. You better not play with that boy. Stephon Diggs had the Steelers secondary just looking confused the whole game. The whole game. He was just Stephon Diggs, man. Props to the I don't know how they managed to do this, but props to the Bills front office for landing him in the offseason, man. He has definitely turned into he leads the league. He leads the league in receiving yards. And he's worth everything that the Bills gave up to get him. Definitely one of the definitely a top 5 receiver in the league right now with DK Metcalf, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. Man, again, Stephon Diggs is not one of them. He is him. You better not play with him. I'm going to keep saying that. Stephon Diggs is not one of them. And let me get to the trash-ass Steelers and what they were able to muster up. So the Steelers, Big Ben, 21 of 37, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, actually. His second interception is what essentially sealed the game. After I seen him throw that, I was like, yeah, no chance to win. James Conner, 10 carries, 18 yards. The Steelers were able to muster up 47 yards of offense on the ground. What the fuck type of rush attack is that? 47 yards? 47? For real? For real? That makes no sense. Juju Smith, 6 catches, 55 yards, a touchdown. Deontay Johnson, 4 catches, 40 yards, and 6 drops. Eric Ebron, 2 catches, 30 yards. James Washington, 3 catches, 29 yards, and a touchdown. Not impressed by the Steelers' offense whatsoever. Not impressed at all whatsoever. Steelers look terrible. Deontay Johnson dropped so many passes that he just got benched. Eventually, he just got benched. And I was just like, well, I mean, he is one of them. He's one of them. He is one of them. Deontay Johnson is one of them. He didn't come to play, didn't show up, dropping passes left and right. Definitely deserved to get benched. I hope he's able to shake that off because his confidence looks a little shooken after that. But again, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers were pretending all season long to be a contender when in actuality they really weren't. They fooled us. They fooled you guys, not me. They fooled you guys. I've been watching football long enough to know what a good team is and what a good team isn't. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a good team. I'm going to say it again. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a good team. They are one of them. Pretenders. Phony. False. All right, so my last topic of today is the Champions League. So today was the Champions League draw, and I'm really excited to get into this. Like, for real, really excited to get into this, as there were a lot of really, really good matchups that seem to be, oh my God. Thank you, UEFA. So now that the group stage is over, the round of 16 is set, and the 8 matches for the back-to-back legs are going to commence soon. All right. Let me actually check when the game will be played, because I'm not sure if it's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is in, let's see. Let us see. Ooh. So they start in February. Okay. February. All right, and these are draws. So Borussia Mönchengladbach is going to be playing Manchester City. I definitely have Manchester City winning that one. I would be surprised if they don't. They have just too much quality. There's honestly only a couple of these matchups that I honestly think can go either way, or I just see, I can go either way, and I don't see one team just outclassing the other over a 2-game stretch. Manchester City, I do see them beating Borussia Mönchengladbach easily. Lazio got matched up with Bayern Munich. I don't see Bayern having any problems putting them out. That just easily. Too much power, too much class, too much depth. Thomas Müller, Robert Lewandowski, I was going to say Mario Götze, Serge Gnabry. They just have a lot of Joshua Kimmich. They just have a lot of quality all over the field. And so I definitely see Bayern Munich beating Lazio. Atletico Madrid versus Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan myself, and I think it's a little it's interesting to see that the comments and the reaction to this draw. Like, I see a lot of people saying Atletico is going to win this and get to the quarterfinals. I don't see it like that. I think Atletico are a shade of the team that they used to be. They struggled the entire group stage, almost didn't even make it. And as opposed to a team like Chelsea, who is very strong, look, this is one of Chelsea's strongest team that they fielded out in the past 4 years. This is definitely one of the strongest team Chelsea has fielded in the last 3 years. In terms of, they have depth everywhere in every single position. They're good. They're solid. They have good attackers. They have good midfielders. They have good defense. Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud. Their midfielders, Mason, Kai Havertz, Kovacic, Kante. Their center back pairing, Zuma and Thiago Silva, incredible. Reece James, Ben Chilwell, very, very good, competent backs. And Edward Mendy. This Chelsea team can go to the semifinals. This Chelsea team is a good team. And yes, I will admit they don't have many experienced players that have been there, done that. Besides, I'm gonna go Timo Werner. Timo Werner played deep into the Champions League season last year. Thiago Silva played in the Champions League final this year. And okay, actually, no. They don't have much experience. And then also Hakim Ziyech, he played in a semifinal, and I think that's about it. Kovacic, I know he's won a championship with a champion. I mean, besides, honestly, all the experienced players have experience in big games, in either Champions League or World Cup experience. It's literally only the young players, but there's not a handful. There's not too many young players that actually start on this Chelsea side besides Reece James, Pulisic, and Mason Mount and Kai Havertz. That's 4 players. And and it's not a given that all those players are going to start in both these legs. I mean, Reece James, yeah. Pulisic, yeah. Havertz, I'm not sure. Mount, I'm not sure. Probably one of those two will start, but we'll see. I definitely see Chelsea winning, and I don't second guess it at all. That they'll get to the next round. RB Leipzig and Liverpool FC. All right, I got Liverpool advancing, even though they are not they're not the team that I expect them to be, because they suffered so many injuries. They don't have the center back pairing that they want because Virgil van Dijk is out for the rest of the season. But I do see them winning. But RB Leipzig is no joke. Just because they lost Timo Werner doesn't mean they're not a good team. They're a good team. They can keep up with anyone in the world. They're a very good team. FC Porto versus Juventus. I got Juventus. Too strong. Ronaldo. They have a lot of quality on their side. Very strong team all around. We'll see how I honestly see this matchup being very close as well, but I have Juventus winning. Barcelona versus PSG. Oh my God, I cannot wait for this one. Barcelona versus PSG. Mwah. Thank you, football gods. The last time these two teams met in the Champions League, history was made. So I expect the same thing to happen again. Sevilla versus Borussia Dortmund. Honestly, I'm going to go with Borussia Dortmund for this one for various reasons. And Atalanta versus Real Madrid. And honestly, I'm going to pick Atalanta to win this one. I'm not in love with Real Madrid. I don't think they're a sexy pick. I don't think they're as good as what they used to be at all. I don't think they're good at all, to be honest. I don't think they're good at all. They struggled through the group stage. I think they if I'm not mistaken, they won. No, did they win their stage? I'm not sure if they won their group stage or not. But no, I don't trust them at all. And even if somehow they do make it past Atalanta, which I don't pick them to do, they're not making it to past the next round. I know for a fact they're not making it past the next round. They're not the team they used to be. They have aging players all over their squad. When they play against quality, they struggled in the group stage. When they play against quality teams, they don't show their best foot forward. So much so where people are questioning whether Zinedine Zidane was going to end up quitting and leaving the club again. What does that tell you? This team is not. They are one. They are one of them. They are one of them. You can play with this team. They are one of them. All right. So that's going to wrap episode 45 up and pull up the tape, man. Episode 50 is on the way. I can't wait. I'm really excited. Like, comment, subscribe, share, viral, movie, bow, shake the room.